Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. Do like that Proctor asked you to do and hit that like, subscribe, and the notification bell, and come join his family known as a Stock Up even on this red day. All right, we have a lot to get into today. Today is brought to you by Stock Up You. We'll talk about that later. Let me get a pair of eyes out. And as we go into everything that we have to cover today, all right, let's get right to it. As you can see here at the top, NASDAQ, S&P were green. Surprisingly, the Dow is up green. I'm sorry, the S&P and NASDAQ are red. And they were down even further, They were down even further this morning, especially in the pre-markets, okay? Just a side note. This is IMAX. It IPO'd today. It got up as high as 667%. And of course, I was looking for a short on it, and you can't do that yet. Not on my trading app. Yeah, you can see that right there. Okay. I was going to look to short it, but you can't. It's too new. I don't know if they want us even in it. All right. Here's what's going on. Here's why it sold off in the morning. Trump says reciprocal tariffs will start with all countries, rejects narrow launch. Every time there is a release from the White House, his staff say, the president says, well, tariffs are not going to be that bad, and the stock market react. Personally, when they see him going to the helicopter or the plane, he always says something the polar opposite, meaning he releases something from the White House that sounds dovish, and then when they ask him, he sounds hawkish. People, these are politics, and he's a politician, and that's what's causing the market to whipsaw. So whenever you hear something like soft from the White House, expect something harsh from the actual president. And it is whipsawing the market left and right, up and down. All right. Okay. So that's what's going on. I've noticed that like consistently. All right. So I'm going to play this and I want you guys to listen. We're going to dissect it. I believe it was some very good back and forth as it pertains to this news clip. Right. It's going to help you make your decisions.
Days away from President Trump's new tariffs being announced and many going into effect, including what would be a 25% levy on all automobiles that are not made in the United States. Megan Casella's tracking all of this action for us, of course. The market very focused on it, Megan, as we count down to Wednesday.
Absolutely, David. A long way to Wednesday. That auto parts tariff you mentioned already signed into law, but that leaves the biggest question for the week being what exactly those president's reciprocal tariffs are going to look like. And one thing that we do know now is just 48 hours from Trump's self-imposed April 2nd deadline for those is that the plans for Wednesday are still very much up in the air. Listen to what the president's economic advisor had to say yesterday on the path forward.
I can't give you any forward-looking guidance on what's going to happen this week. The president has got a heck of a lot of analysis before him, and he's going to make the right choice, I'm sure.
So a very clear signal there that the path has not yet been decided and only the president knows what is next. But we can expect 4 pieces to the tariff wave on Wednesday. Those are the still unknown reciprocal tariffs will be rolled out. That secondary tariff on buyers of Venezuelan oil will take effect. The auto tariffs, of course, will take effect. And the president will decide whether to let the pause on those Canadian and Mexican tariffs expire as scheduled. A White House official here told me the president has yet to make that call. And so with so much taking effect at once, Trump trade advisor Peter Navarro over the weekend said that he expects the tariffs to raise $600 billion in revenue every year. And that.
So $600 billion is what the president is looking at, right? And he's looking at that over the stock market. So he wants his way. It's affecting the market in a negative way. And I know you guys, half of you guys is, oh, he's the devil. And the other half of you guys are going, he's a genius. We have to concentrate on our money, right? And this is affecting our money. Remember, every time, he does this every time, the White House generally releases something and then he'll come out with something the polar opposite. It's like the next day, right? And Wednesday is the second. And if there's no deals done on the table, if there's no, at least some talking of the presidents and kind of pulling back on these tariffs, we could go down even further, right?
Sparked widespread speculation that the president could be planning to go bigger with the reciprocal tariffs than we had recently been thinking. For comparison, $600 billion a year, that is more than the U.S. took in corporate taxes last year. That would be roughly the equivalent of a 20% tariff on everything that the U.S. imports. We don't know that that's where they're going, but a lot of speculation there. That might be the end result. So the upshot, guys, I would just say is that April 2nd, that Wednesday, looks less and less likely to deliver the clarity that the market has been hoping for. Guys.
So that's it. The clarity. The market is looking for clarity, and there's no clarity the closer we get to the day. And then the market does not like it and it sells off. Okay, we're going to finish watching this because it's a lot in this short clip.
Yeah, Megan, that was the subject of our conversation at the top of the 9 a.m. The lack of clarity, I think, that many investors are now starting to concede is likely to come. And again, you make the point. I mean, the president's going to have it all in front of him. He likes to have that optionality. He likes to be the ultimate decision maker. And not just on any given day, but every day. And so I guess the question is, what are we going to get on Wednesday, but what are going to be the key components of it that mean it could go up or could go down or be rolled back? Is that potentially going to be a part of whatever the discussion is?
It sure could be. I was surprised to hear from that White House official that I mentioned that the pause on Canada and Mexico, it's already been written into law that will expire on Wednesday. I was then told that maybe that won't happen. So that could be a way that maybe he softens the blow of the reciprocal tariffs is by extending the pause on USMCA compliant goods from Canada and Mexico, even while rolling out what could be much larger tariffs to come. David, to your point, I think there's a couple things going on here. One is that the president likes this optionality, and I think a lot of this uncertainty is by design. This White House thinks that it gives them ultimate negotiating power with trading partners if those countries don't even know what to offer, that they're just sort of offering anything they can to try to get around this, and they sort of like some of the confusion. The other thing is that it appears to me that there is very much an internal debate on this White House going on about what exactly would be the best path forward to limit some market uncertainty or limit the hit to economic growth while still having maximum impact and fulfilling the campaign promises that the president ran on.
So you heard that, good people. The White House actually, and I agree with that, the White House actually likes this whipsawing. They like it because it does give them negotiating power as these other countries are feeling the hit, but so are we, all right? And so he has the power to move the markets now. He has the power to move crypto now. Now, I'm going to play you something from Tom Lee from today to give you both sides, and then we'll further discuss. But before that, I just want to look at this, good people. Look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ was down hugely today, and now it's coming back, being big tech. And so has the S&P. When it opened, we could see it tanked at open. It was already down at open. Actually, if you go back to Friday, today being the 31st, so if you go back, all right, to the last trading day, it fell actually by 2.25%. But now it's starting to rebound. And yes, dibble a little bit more in QQQ, VUG. You guys have heard it, right? Just a little more, not a lot, okay? And so if we look at the QQQ, I was just going, remember, I'm not a charting expert, but I can understand this. On the weekly, we got the 200-day moving average here. We've been over it, 2022. It dipped below, but it was still a time to buy. Here in COVID, it was still a time to buy. And if you look at the RSI, let's bring that up. For those of you, we won't spend a lot of time on this, all right? If you look at the RSI, you could see we touched back here, we dipped below here, touched again here, right at 41 on the RSI on the weekly. And could it come back down? Are we heading back down this way? Yes, it appears that we are. Will we? I don't know. We got to see what this president is going to do. And so, just like I said, yes, I have been buying. Let's go to the daily. I've been buying when it goes under. and not just, you know, every dip. As we could see here, not just every dip. I buy because these are my long-term. See here, we went down, came here, boom, and we're back again. The question is, will we break up, right? That's what I'm looking for. But it's a lot going on. Let's check some crypto. But before we do that, good people, if you want to learn how to make life-changing long-term money as well as the short terms, we do some options, right? I want you to go to Stock Up U. It's the top link below, and you will learn what you need for stocks and crypto. Stock Up U, that's the top link below. Look, here's one of the things I want you to look at that's actually been surprising to me today, and that's that crypto has been holding with all of the bad news, tariff, Bitcoin for the last hour, but it's actually pretty flat. Look at that, up 0.5%. Today, Bitcoin was holding strong. Now, XRP, on the other hand, is feeling the crunch. Look at that, good people. XRP down a whopping 14% in the last 7 days. It does not like what's going on. It really don't. Let's look at this. You could see here, you know, this may be a lower number than you have XRP, but, you know, I have a little buying order at 193. That's where I have a little buy order at, and I'm going to be patient. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you I'm going to be patient. Of course, the crypto bubbles for the hour is red, and for the day is actually it's kind of mixed. So the question is crypto bottoming out? Is all of this stuff priced in? I will tell you, if there's more bad tariff news, no, it's not priced in, and it's going to go lower as we move towards what? More fear on the fear and greed index with crypto, right? So I just wanted to cover all of that, but now this video is going to be a little longer. I'll try to timestamp it, but I need you guys to also hear what the eternal optimist, Tom Lee, thinks about what's going on.
Some of the underpinnings are in for a real bottom, for a tradable bottom or a real bottom?
Yeah, I mean, both. I mean, if obviously it doesn't feel this way because over the weekend futures came under pressure, but we know markets are really oversold. We know that investors have had a lot of de-risking. And this week, I think into April 2nd, investors have three things on their minds. You know, one is they just don't know what the tariffs look like. They don't know if it's going to damage the economy. And I think third, many are just a little terrified of the policies of the White House. But post-Wednesday, I think markets are going to have some visibility, and that allows us to take some of the selling pressure off. So, yes, I think it's possible that instead of us breaking down here and seeing markets under further pressure, we're actually got the right pieces
buy,
for
though,
bottom.
into this without knowing what's on the other side of it? That is the fundamental question that people are sitting around trying to figure out today and tomorrow.
That's right. It's an interminable wait for people because it is still 3 days, and they're fearful that we could have 3 days of down 2%. But I kind of agree with Larry Fink. I think the U.S. is going to come out of this okay, but I think investors are a little too scared heading into Wednesday.
Bitcoin's testing recent near-term lows, I guess, again. It's been under 80. It's not quite there yet. It definitely is a risk-off trade, and you know, when the NASDAQ goes down, Bitcoin seems to go down. But it also really likes the idea of more Fed rate cuts or the Fed being more lenient. So if we get that on Friday, is this a decent time to be stacking?
I think so. You know,
you do, at 80.
Yeah, I think, you know, part of this was Bitcoin seasonally was just not going to be attractive until after March ends, and now we're finally exiting March. And so I think not only is the calendar looking better, but as you're saying, Fed and central banks are easing, QT's ending. I think that with positive Washington sort of tailwinds means I think Bitcoin can do well to the end of the year.
You guys heard Tom Lee. I kind of agree with that also, all right? But that's Tom Lee. He has more tools than I have, all right? So I just want you guys to know that I don't fear what I've been buying. And I know you guys say, hey, Larry, just, You know, all you YouTubers say it could go up, it could go down. But I'm giving you parameters in which you can make a decision. I can't make a decision for you. It is not my job. Okay. And so, and it's not anyone's job to tell you do this. But I go through a lot of research to bring all of the pieces together. I tell you and show you what I'm going to do, and then you can make a conscious decision. Okay. So I do think, based on the 200-day moving average, based on, let's go back to 2022, and then we can go back to 2022, the bear market. Then you rewind past that, you can go back to COVID. Then you can rewind past that, you can go all the way back to the recession of 2008. You can rewind that and go all the way back to the 90s, and you will see every time it was time to buy. So that's one of the things I am telling you that I am doing. I have been buying, and the prices that I bought, every day it dips below that, but then it turns around and rebounds, okay, on some days. And in some days, and I'm talking about ETFs, QQQ, VUG, Granny, Fundstrat, those type of deals, VTI, VU, for those of you that's playing that, but those are not down as much as the ones that I've been sharing with you guys. So I'm making a conscious decision to deploy capital while saving some, just in case, because you heard the young lady, they could go even deeper into tariffs, and that no one knows. No one knows what the president is going to go to sleep and wake up tomorrow with it on his mind. No one can tell you that. So here's what I will tell you. The stock that you buy today, during this period, you better make sure it's something you don't mind holding for a while. Okay. And so that's why I choose to do some ETFs, right? And I'm nibbling on some very, very small caps. But I am happy with the decisions that I've made, and I'm happy with the prices that I got them at. Now, Larry, you could have waited and bought them lower. True. But no one has been successful in trying to time the market, right? Every single time, right? Timing the market will outperform trying to time the market. But this I do know. When you have an entire index like VUG or some of the other indices that go down by 14%, and this was not economy induced, this was political induced, this was induced by the tariffs, I do know that there could be a turnaround. Now, will there be a turnaround? Only one person knows that, and that's the president, good people. So let's keep everything straight, right? And so at some point, you have to buy. And I'm not telling you that that day is today, because just like they said, it can go down another 2% tomorrow, which is Tuesday, and another 2% on Wednesday. And he could stack on to the tariff that he already has. In the market, we actually could go into a recession. I got to look you guys in the eye and tell you the truth. If he pushes too long, too hard, we can go into a recession. Now, Friday, there's some more data coming, and the Fed will be speaking on Friday. There's some more jobs data. So I'm telling you, this market is news driven. You better be listening every single day. Listen here and listen to your local news, or listen to what the president is saying, what's coming out of the White House, because that's what's whipsawing this market. At the end of the day, you're going to say, I'm glad I didn't get in, or I wish I would have at least starting to nibble. And that's what I'm doing. I am nibbling on some stock, and some stock I'm buying. And the ETFs, I'm buying I'm buying heavier. I'm doing more than nibbling. I'm biting. I'm taking big chunks. And the lower it gets, the more bite I take. And if we go back to where we were in 2022, where it just traded sideways. Every time you bought, it dipped. And the truth be told, if you go back to the 200-day moving average and you go to something like the Qs, then it traded sideways forever and a day. It just didn't move. but I am okay with the positions that I have entered into. The question is, are you? All right, good people. Hey, these allergies are back, man. They back early. So I'm just going to push through. We got to eat, and I want to keep the family fed. Make sure those of you that don't have it, those of you that are just got in and you're just trading, you really don't know what you're doing, you need Stock Up You. That's the top link below, and we will see you tomorrow. Live, love, laugh, and learn.